Alright, pointless video. Yay! Yeah, I'm just going to chime in on this anarchy thing just a little bit, this anti-statism crap. This is this Strudels guy, the guy who plays with his noodle on video. Anyway, Stodels, whatever the fuck his name is, his original name, Fringe Elements he is now. Let's just call him, he's just using his little name calling thing, so he's calling anti-bullshit man Inmendham Jr. So we should call him stefBottlet, because he gets all his crap from stefBot. He thinks stefBot is the second coming of the new revolution or some kind of bullshit like that. Yeah, I mean, you might as well acquire your philosophy on life from like the underwear gnomes. I mean, it's stefBot. I mean, come on. All these anti-state guys will never answer the important questions, like who gets to own the Mississippi River. What the hell? How the fuck you would sit there and organize air travel? Who gets the nuclear bombs? I mean, none of the important questions they'll go anywhere near. What happens to the whole idea of research and development when you can't own a copyright anymore? Because you basically won't be able to. All your intellectual property will go right down the toilet because all the competing mobs are going to steal everything they possibly can. Where the whole societies, explain how or why societies wouldn't lose huge amounts of resources and value creating security systems all over the place to prevent people from raping and pillaging. And, it would be just like France and England, 500 years ago. There'd be all kinds of efforts to assassinate each other and fuck each other up and sabotage each other's water supply or something else, because it's a real life game, right? I mean, just imagine if you're going into a boxing ring, let's say, and what's going to be decided by the fight is the fate of your family. Okay, your family's going to live or die based on how you perform in that fight. And let's say there's an invisible hand umpire. Okay, he doesn't exist. He's an invisible hand umpire. You're telling me you're going to not go in there with some brass knuckles, with some, well, if things get tough, I'm going to have a plan B and a plan C and a plan D, and they're not going to be very good fucking goddamn plans. And that's human fucking nature. And anybody who says otherwise is a little lying prick. But all these statist guys are little lying pricks. They're not about anti-state. They're about segregationists. Okay, they are exclusionists. They are elitists. They are racist. They are there's probably a whole bunch of other ist words you can apply to these motherfuckers. But they have nothing to do with things like fairness, civilization, efficiency, which is a really important word. Now, they don't care about efficiency. They just care about genetic bloodlines. That's where they're really concerned about, is this genetic thing and bloodlines. You see, because Bill Gates made money, somehow they have a theory, okay, that he has like brain blood or something. And what all he really has is shyster blood, because he made his money because he engineered the brilliant idea of renting an operating system to an overly bureaucratic, rather stupid IBM at the time that fell for it. And that's it. That's his brilliant contribution to mankind, people. The little Google scumbags and go right down the list. But look, these guys have no answer to the important questions. What would stop a William Randolph Hearst? I've used this example before, but it's a good fucking example. When you're rich enough, no one's going to fuck with you. All right? Because you can afford to lose money. Most people in business can't afford to lose money for 5 years. All right? They just can't do it. And then they certainly can't afford to lose a lot of money. And so if you're fighting somebody who can't afford to do that and doesn't care if they do that, because they're always going to be able to survive on the long term. They're always going to have plenty of food on their table. They'll live comfortable lives, and they can play the game on a 100-year scale while you're playing the game on a 5-month scale. You're never going to beat them. They're always going to win. And anybody who has any resources is never going to waste their resources trying to take them down. So there'll be no invisible referee. There'll be no invisible hand of fairness. And exactly what happened in human history will happen again. You will have empires. How do you think the first empires were formed? They were formed in a non-state environment. No fairness rules. Okay, might made right. And you had guys like Ivan the Terrible or whoever, and they ruled the fucking world. And they eventually became France and England and all the other little countries. And then eventually the peasants in those countries, the people who had been abused for hundreds of years, finally organized, pick up their pitchforks, and took the anti-statist motherfuckers out, okay, and established a state, okay, where there were rules, there were accountability. People couldn't just rape and pillage. They couldn't just take your life away from you at the snap of their finger for any fucking reason. A lord couldn't just point his finger at you and say, you are going to die now. So they established rules of accountability and responsibility. And yes, our states are not perfect, okay? The corruption still exists. The rich man still has more votes than the poor man in terms of he can control the media and control the message and control the people. And there's lots of obstacles to us getting free from their control, because we don't create a system where we have choices. So we are stuck being owned by a Google, letting them control our internet and other mechanisms like that. They're very difficult to unravel. See, these assholes also don't take any consideration of real world circumstances. And there's a thing called momentum in the real world. And when you have momentum, okay, there can be an equally strong force, an equally massive thing, but it'll have, for it to have the same impact, and without any momentum, it's not going to. It's not going to have the same force behind it without momentum. And the world runs on momentum, you asswipes. And so you're not going to, it's not through, there's no magic, there's no fair fight anymore. Okay, if one fighter goes into the battle with a 50-mile-an-hour backpack on his back, he's automatically got a stronger punch. We know that in most cases what the game is the result's going to be. The David-Goliath scenario is not reality. That's the minority of circumstances, and that probably required a little bit of God's intervention. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, like I said, these guys will never talk about anything practical or real, and they'll sit there in their own videos and say something stupid like, "No, I'll file a class action lawsuit." Yeah, I'm sure Don Corleone would have given a fuck. If somebody filed a class action lawsuit. Yeah, you'd be waking up with a goddamn horse in your bed. You dumb fuck. Sure, you're going to file it with who? Oh, that's right, the judges selected by the hierarchy, the people with the most money, the most votes in your mob collective, the family, right? The family decides. You're not the family, you're just a worker. So, yeah, they're not going to appreciate your little class action lawsuit, maybe. Maybe they're going to kill you for it. And there'll be no accountability because they are the law. They're the police, they're the judge, they're the jury, they're the game. And to sit there and say that somehow you can make sense out of that, choosing to be controlled by elitist rich motherfuckers who are bred for the job, okay? The blue bloods again. We just go back to a monarchy where people control you, and they're born to their control. And to have at least we have some semblance of a system that tries to take some of that power away. But to have nothing, to have no check, no balance against that authority, and you sit there and think that somebody's going to be convinced by that or want that except for you racist lunatics, yeah, there's nobody else who would want that, because they don't have any desperate need to go live in some kind of black man free world, the white state, the white mob. That's not desperate enough to pay that high a price for it. But you'll pay any price, because of your elitism and your cheap bigotries. And your really ignorant bigotries, too. You're just really dumb. You really think there's some sort of genetic thing going on here. You're really stupid enough to think that way. Man. That somehow it breeds true. That the sons of J. Paul Getty were all brilliant people. Yeah, you gonna find me one or two of those, please? They're all fucking psychotic from what I understand the record to be. Yeah, we can do that with any family you want to pick. Let's see what the Walmarts all turn out to be. I'm sure there's plenty of crazy motherfucker in there too. So anyways, this is just idiotic. This is not how civilized, rational, sensible people organize their society. They want a society where you attempt to create fairness. And you don't create fairness by just having an invisible umpire you call Inviso, and who has no power, no authority, no ability to do anything. And you just allow people, whoever has the most might, to decide they're right. And let them decide your fate. Or let them decide how the game's going to be played. Or who can play the game. I mean, that's just idiotic. So until you come up with some mechanism that creates fairness, that creates the idea of personal accomplishment, personal reward, what you're talking is just bullshit. It's just crap. It's just a legacy, empire, king, queen, noble bullshit all over again. The human race has been there and done that, and I'm pretty damn sure they're not going to be stupid enough to go anywhere near it again. So, you're a fucktard, an asshole, a weasel. I mean, you're really a weasel playing this little game with my name. I mean, it's just weasel behavior. Yeah, I mean, come on. But you're desperate, yeah, because you're not winning the argument. You're just talking to your racist friends and you all agree with each other. Yeah, let's go kill ourselves some darkies, and that's as far as you can think. You're just stupid little petty fucks. And I almost wish, like I said before, I mean, I wish we could give you your little world, your little anarchy to live on, a little island of misfit perverts, and let you do your little thing, and just find out how fast you'll start fucking each other over. Because that's human nature, you dumbass. Especially it's human nature when you're playing for all the marbles. Okay, when it really matters, when it's your life or your death, or the life or death of your kids, people are going to do whatever it takes to make sure they're going to be on the winning side. And that gets ugly. So if you don't have some rules to the game, people will start fucking each other up. And we're seeing it. This isn't even disputable. This isn't disputable. This is proven, factual history of mankind on Earth. And so you have to have a structure. You have to have a game to play that obliges people to be accountable. And you just break all accountability with your bullshit. Let's all be members of the club until we're not. Yeah. So whatever. Yeah, good enough. Didn't even use the 15 minutes. But there's just so many, like I said, it's a zillion questions. And the game is the more you own, the more you can manipulate, the more advantage you have, the harder it is for somebody to knock you down. And that's just the truth. I mean, use stupid examples. You start talking about libraries and comparing them to bookstores. Newsflash, asshole. The difference between a library and a bookstore is I can't read the materials in a bookstore and put them back on the shelf and then walk out the door. All right, a library, I can sit down and read anything I want to. I can take the knowledge with me. I don't have to pay for it, you dumb fucktard. Well, yeah, I could get into the whole internet thing, but what's the point? I mean, you really think that the reason why YouTube's going to be hard to take down is because nobody has a meritorious complaint against YouTube, and you don't think it has something to do with the fact that people have to lose money to do that? They have to give up making money? They have to risk losing what they've built in terms of a viewership? So get real, you asshole. Just bullshit arguments after bullshit argument after bullshit argument. And so yeah, you're a fucktard, a weasel, an asshole, and don't be fucking with my name, you little wanker.